Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage, where today we have the Panigale V2 up on the lift, and we are getting some brakes put on this thing. First, we're doing a little pad swap. Bogna really doesn't like the pads that's on here. They're the stock pads from Ducati. So we got a little bit more grippy EBC pads. So I thought I'd bring you guys along on a brake pad swap on a Panigale V2. Brakes are pretty simple. There's just a lot of steps that are important to follow to make sure that they're done properly. So I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step on how to swap out the pads on the 2020-2021 Ducati Panigale V2. Let's get the chesty cam on and let's get to work and see how easy it is to swap out the brake pads in the front of the Panigale. All right, so first let's go over everything that you're gonna need. Now, first, make sure you guys have a couple rags. We're gonna want a couple rags down here, and we are gonna take a rag up to the master there. Gonna wanna make sure we've got brake fluid. Now, we are going to be doing a brake fluid change. We're gonna be bleeding out all of the brake fluid out of the lines, out of the reservoir, and adding new brake fluid, which I'll walk you guys through if you would like to do it. If not, not really required. Make sure you got some brake cleaner, because we're gonna wanna make sure we clean the calipers first. If you guys don't know, my top 5 must-have tools, this is one of them. This is a brake pad spreader. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it up above, but this is a must-have tool. And you're gonna need an 8mm for the 2 bolts that hold the caliper on, and you're going to need a T27 to relieve the brake pad bolt that holds the brake pads in. Now, we have gone with the EBC double H brake pads. These are street / track days, and that's basically essentially what we do. So you will need 2 sets of these, because one set is only good for one side. So when you order them, don't just order 1 pack. You do need to order 2 packs. And make sure you got some rags. Now, you guys can see that I've already removed the top master cylinder reservoir up top. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap a rag around up here. Now, we're gonna be actually bleeding out the whole system. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna drain the fluid from out of up there. So when we add the new, obviously we've got less fluid. So first thing is going to get that up there. And then now I also have a little sucker here, which is gonna be the power bleeder. But what's great about the power bleeder is we're able to actually use this end to stick it in the brake reservoir, and it'll suck out all of the excess. So let's go ahead and get that, and then we'll start working down here. All right, so now that we have all of the fluid relieved from up here, make sure you put a towel around here. If you guys spill any brake fluid anywhere on your bike, make sure you wipe it up immediately, but really stay protected. And then down here, we're gonna go ahead and start by removing our T27 bolt. Now, there is a little pin right here. You're gonna grab some needle nose, and you'll notice you could probably get it out by hand. Yeah, it's actually not very hard to get out. And you're gonna pop this little pin out. This little pin is just kind of a retainer pin. And then you're gonna take your T27 and you're gonna remove this bolt completely. So go ahead and remove the T27 out of the master, or out of the caliper completely. All right, so once we've got this out, you're gonna lose this back pin. This is a retainer. So this goes in, clips, and keeps these pads just nice and easily in there. Now, what's nice about this set is, look at how easy it is to change your pads. Is you just slide them right out of the rear, and you can basically just insert your new pads. Now, we are gonna go ahead, so if that's all you're here for, that's all you need to do. But we are going to remove the calipers completely and get them nice and clean, because that's the right way to do it. So go ahead and grab our 8mm and get the 2 bolts here broken loose. All right, so your first bolt's gonna come out. Make sure you grab your little spacer that goes in between. And then let's go ahead and grab the second one. All right, bolt comes out, spacer. And now we can go ahead and pull the caliper off the rotor. And why we're taking it off is we want to clean all of these pistons, and we want to get these pistons pushed back in. So we want to make sure that all of the dust and everything is all cleaned up. So the best way to do it is really just grab a towel, wrap it around the back, spray some brake clean in there, and then just go to town and start wiping it down. Get it good and clean. Wipe, wipe, wipe. If you got a little toothbrush, get in there with the brush and get it cleaned. Actually, I do have a little brush over here that I'm going to use just to kind of go around and get all of the pistons all nice and clean before we push them back in. All right, now that we have the pistons all cleaned, we can slide our little brake spreader right into the middle. And what we're going to do is we're just going to gradually basically push these pistons back into their original position. Now, this is the reason why we pulled the fluid up from up top, because we're pushing fluid back into the bike now. So you'll see here, we've pushed the pistons back in. That's again why we clean them, okay? So now what we can do is we can go ahead and put this back on into its home position. And we can go ahead and now we want to clean and lubricate these bolts. So we're going to clean them off and then add just a tad of lubrication on the shaft here. So I like to use this stuff called Super Lube. It's really, really good. We just want a little bit right around there. And then we're going to take our spacer, slide this through in the spacer, and then go ahead and start threading that on the bottom. And once you're done with the bottom, go ahead and slide the spacer in the top. Please don't forget your spacers. Your spacers are very important. Don't forget the spacers. All right, now we grab our brake pads and we're gonna slide one on each side. So go ahead and just slide one in. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and grab this. This goes in like this, okay? So you're gonna get this on the bottom and then you're gonna push it in, and the bolt's gonna go in through the brake pads. So you'll have to finagle those through the little spring, and then back in through the back brake pad. All the while, you're gonna hit the end target and start tightening it up. All right, so we'll go ahead and get these nice and snug. We don't wanna go too tight. And then you're gonna grab your little retainer clip here, and it's gonna slip into that little clip right there. You can hide it up top. And now your brakes are mounted. Now, of course, we're going to have to torque these down. I think the torque spec on these are 45 Newton meters here. And then this one, it's just a good hand tight. I couldn't find the torque spec here, but these are definitely 45 Newton meters. All right, now with that side, you'll see that the pads are kind of loose in there. You'll see up here that we'll have plenty of brake fluid in there. So what we can go ahead and do is just slowly pull this brake lever just to kind of get those pistons exercising down there. Slow, don't pull that too tight because it'll geyser up. So we're gonna get a couple slow little pumps, okay? And there shouldn't be any air in the system because we didn't go so low here. We pushed everything back out. So now we're just sucking in pure fluid. So there shouldn't be any air in the systems. So we're gonna get a couple pumps here, and the lever's gonna get firm, and your pad should be seated in. So now they're nice and tight. So let's go ahead and grab everything, head to the other side. I'm gonna do it real quick. You're just gonna basically rinse and repeat, and then we'll walk through the bleeding of the brakes. All right, so this side, we're just gonna basically do it real quick, all right? Pull the pin out, T27. Go ahead and loosen this all the way completely up. Here. Pull our pin out. Pull our pads out. Pull our pad out. Grab our 8mm. Go ahead and break these loose. I had them loose from earlier, so go ahead and remove these bolts completely. Don't forget your washers. Go ahead and grab our caliper, wrap it, get a little spray, get our little brush, go ahead and brush all the way around, front, back, side to side. And then go ahead and just wipe everything down. Clean, clean, that's the name of this game, all right? Make sure they're nice and clean. All right, so what you're gonna first do is go ahead and make sure that everything is out of here. So if there's still fluid left in here, what you wanna do is you wanna take your power bleeder if you can, or take a paper towel and gently stuff it down there and absorb all of the fluid out of there. All right, so now we're going to take our fluid. We're using the DOT 600 by Motul. This is really, really good. It's really tolerant to high heat, so high braking, that's what we use. But definitely to use a very good .4 brake fluid. So we're gonna go ahead and fill up the reservoir and be careful not to overspill. So just go ahead and fill up the reservoir here. And we're gonna keep an eye on that reservoir. Keep an eye on the reservoir, because as we bleed this, that's gonna go down. It's gonna end up in here. This sucks a lot out. So we need to make sure that we watch up here and make sure that we're not losing too much. So we're gonna drain some, fill it, drain some, fill it, drain some, fill it, which is going to bleed all of the lines all the way down to the nipple. Now, the nipple, the bleeder, we're gonna start on this side, go to the other side, then end up back on this side. We're gonna grab an 8mm and we're gonna latch it on here. We're gonna grab our little power bleeder, latch it on top there. Little rag below, make sure we don't spill anything. So get that right there just to make sure. And it's gonna be a little bit loud right now because the air is gonna blow through. But what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and open up the air on here. So it's gonna basically be sucking here. And as we do that, we're going to gently be pushing this open and close, which is going to be basically shoving brake fluid and sucking brake fluid all the way down the line into here. So if you have a power bleeder, go ahead and open it up now. And open up the bleeder. And go ahead and gently flex the brake pad, or the brake lever. All right, then we're gonna hold it open all the way down. We're gonna close this. Go ahead and turn off our air. And then go ahead, now we should have some pretty decent brakes here, all right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull this nipple off and head to the other side and do the other side. All right, now we're to the other side. We're gonna make sure we've got everything laid out. Don't forget to fill your fluid, okay? We'll get that laid down there. And then this is gonna be nice to have somebody else to help you kind of gradually do that. But what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to kind of do it. I'm gonna run around front and do it, but it's kind of nice to have a second person for this side. So go ahead and open up your bleeder. Go ahead and open up your valve. And then go ahead and gently start pumping your brake lever. All right, this is where we're gonna do the pump, pump, hold. And I'll explain it to the other side when it's a little bit quieter, but watch here. Pumping the lever, hold, open the thing, close it, pump, hold, open, close, pump, hold, open, and close. All right, so if you guys don't have a power bleeder, this is basically the old school method that I recommend, and I always finish off my bikes with the pump, pump, hold method. the method is basically this. We're getting our lever, we're pumping, we're holding it here. As we hold it here, we're going to open up the valve. This lever is going to go all the way down. Once it's all the way down, you're going to close your wrench, pump it, hold it, open your wrench, goes all the way down, close your wrench, and repeat. So again, kind of nice to have somebody here, but on this side it's very easy. So we're going to pump, pump, hold, open, close, pump, pump, hold, open, close, pump, pump, hold, open, close. So what's happening is you're not allowing any air to go into the line. By opening this and holding this open, you're forcing all of the bubbles either up or down through the line. So if you watch here, pump, pump, hold. In this line, we don't want to see any air, which we're not seeing any air. There's one little bubble right there. See him creeping back up? So pump, pump, hold. And there he goes. Pump, pump, hold. And that's it. You guys are all bled. And the lever feels amazing. So go ahead and that nice and cleaned up there. And we're gonna wipe this all down. Put our little cap there. And make sure we get everything torque spec'd. Now up here, you're gonna see now we have fresh fluid. And the brakes are very nice. And so we're gonna make sure that we, also the other trick of this is, I'm gonna show you that when we get the bike down, but there's another trick to do a final bleed overnight here. So go ahead and top off our fluid and button everything up. All right, there you have it. Very, very simple. Probably 30 minutes to do this job. Doesn't take too much. Remember, there are a lot of steps, and please follow all the steps. Make sure you also clean the calipers, because the calipers being cleaned when they push back in, you're going to be saving yourself future headache. Now, if you guys stuck around this long, I'm gonna give you guys the one big secret about bleeding your brakes. If you guys don't know how to bleed your brakes, remember, air always travels up. So this is okay to get air into, because obviously there's some spot of air. So, zip tie your brake lever tonight, okay? Zip tie it all the way closed. You can see there's no more brake. What that's done is that's opened up all of the valves, okay? So that any air is gonna come up through these lines, and it's gonna go all the way up into the reservoir and bleed out. Trust me, tomorrow morning, when you snip this off, your lever is gonna be rock solid. So thank you guys for sticking around for another V2 video. We've got some more stuff coming, so you V2 guys, we hope this is informational. Make sure you guys do the normal, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and ring the bell notification. The bell notification is gonna give you future notification of future content. We are going to be out on the Street Fighter and the Panigale V2 this weekend for a street ride, finally. So stick around. Hopefully we'll get a camera on here for Bogdan. Maybe she'll do a little vlog for us. But we will be out riding. And then we have a Chuck Walla Day. We have a Button Willow Day and a Thunder Hill Day, all in the next 3 weeks. So stay tuned, because the V2, the Ducati, the S1000 Single R will all be out on track. So thank you guys again for sticking around. And I hope this was informational on how to change your brakes on a 2020-2021 Ducati Panigale V2. See you guys next video. Bye guys.